everybody. How you all doing? Hey, it's your boy Joaquin Loper back again. Hey, welcome back to Breaking Through the Noise. I have an amazing special guest today. You may have seen her on some of the Tyler Perry Assisted Living. Hey, I have Courtney Nicole on with me today, and I'm elated. Give her a round of applause, y'all. Give her a round.
Woo! What's up, Joaquin? How are you?
Man, I am wonderful. I'm wonderful, and it is so good to see you again.
Yes. How's your other half? Wait, look, I gotta ask about my girl. Listen.
Hey, she getting on my nerves, so she is doing fine. She getting on my nerves, so she's doing fine. As long as she getting on my nerves, she is
You
fine.
know you all right.
I'm good. I'm good.
I got you. I think my husband can relate.
How's Mr. Gardner? How's Mr. Jamal?
Great. He's doing great. Look, he just got through running a honeydew list for his wife. So listen.
Hey,
So I'm getting on his nerves. Look.
Jamal, I understand, brother. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive, Jamal.
That's all we
Yeah.
can do. That's all we can do. I love it. It's nothing like it having a relationship, you know what I'm saying, with a friend. So,
Yes, yes. Okay, on that point, we'll jump right into it.
okay.
Jamal, thank you for sharing Courtney with me today on this and allowing us to be share her wealth and her knowledge and stuff with the people. So thank you for that, sir. Courtney,
Yeah.
how is it? How has it been being married? And for how long you been married? But how long did it take you to become a friend with your husband?
You know what? Well, I'll say luckily we started as friends,
Mm,
right? So that was a plus for us, right? And that might be what led us to this point. So we met doing a play that never took off. Actually, the play we got cast in and worked on never actually hit the stage, but we did. Okay, but we did. And so, really, honestly, that's how it started. Cause like we were scene partners or whatever. So then just kind of like a mutual respect for each other's talent. And then at that point, immediately it was like we were both living in Atlanta at the time, and it was like, people might be like, "Hey, I'm looking for like a straight, a black man who can play blah blah blah." I'm like, "I got you. Let me send you Jamal." And like he'll call me, and so I played his mother-in-law in the first play that we did, and he's older than me, so I had to put me a little gray streak in there, and then from then on, I think it was just like we just rode for each other. And then because to be honest with you, it's a second marriage for both of us. So he was coming out of a marriage. I had been divorced already. And so I was a little careful as well because I knew I had been divorced a little longer, and I know how that space afterwards can be. And so I was like, we'll just be friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with that. He was such a great person, so many great qualities that I was willing to have him as a friend, even if it wasn't anything romantic. And I think that friendship and us just kind of rocking with each other allowed us to see things about each other's character, how we showed up for each other. And it just became something natural. Like, I think I've talked to him probably almost every day since then, and a lot of that was friendship. And then yeah, so it just evolved.
that's awesome. I never really saw myself calling my wife my friend because of how I viewed the two and separated the two. But now she is. I think we started out as friends, and then things happened in the marriage,
Mm,
which fractured the friendship,
mm,
and will try to fracture the marriage. But I thank God for the relationship I had with him at the time because that's why I stayed, and
yeah,
it gave us, not her, it gave us the opportunity to grow into who we needed to be. And
absolutely.
we had to and that's when I started allowing space for her to be a friend again.
I think that's very good too, because well, we met older, right? Like sometimes that friendship, male female friendship, can be a very interesting relationship. You know what I'm saying? And when you're growing up, it's like, nah, boy, like the
Yeah,
opposite
yeah,
sex. It's like
yeah.
that's not my friend. My friend is my homegirl who I can run around with or whatever, right? But yeah, my homeboy who I'm like, all right, let's hit this, let's hit that. So I get that, but like you said, something happens because I don't know that I knew he was a friend, but like I feel like it was like we've been married 7 years now. It might have been like a couple of years ago, and I said he was my best friend, and like that makes me emotional now to think about it because I don't think I ever thought that he could be that. I never put him in that place, but honestly, like he is. Because like you said, those things that happen where it has to be the friendship that gets you back. the love that you have for the other person that gets you back, to allow that space for that. So that is very interesting. That's very interesting.
Since we're here, we start. I mean, I want to go a whole other direction, but since we're here, we're gonna stay here. Coming off of a divorce, it's you're very guarded. So even to let somebody into that friend zone is something that. And my wife is. I'm her third husband. Um, my first, and I never really wanted to trust people. I never wanted to trust people. And as soon as I trust somebody,
Something happens, right? You like, oh, this is why. This is why I don't trust nobody. Yeah, right. I know, man.
I'm gonna tell you how fun. I'm gonna tell you how funny God is. This is for me. This is my opinion.
Okay.
Getting married, sometimes when we come from backgrounds that don't know how to orchestrate or work a marriage, you start stepping outside of your character of what you're supposed to be. I started trying to become more of a husband instead of letting her make me her husband. And I got off my throne of just being a man.
Mm-hmm.
And
The idea of what you right, yeah.
I'm telling
What
you,
you wrapped yourself up into thinking a man is or a
yeah,
husband is, right? Yeah,
it brought me back to ground zero. And I told her, I said, I'll never leave here again. This is where God has put me. I said, you build me being a husband, but I'm gonna stay a man right here. And we've
yeah,
been right here since then. And it was just, I was like, man, and I always used to tell people in the beginning, oh, she screwed up. It was her fault. And I started thinking, no, let me take some accountability. Accountability on my part. Again, not making no excuse for anybody else, but let me take some accountability.
right,
You-
right.
Have, have you and
So
Jazz?
we had a moment like that, I feel like right before we got married. Um, because of the time, like you said. So like, okay, we're talking about we having a real conversation. That's how we met. Let's keep this up. Okay. So when I met him, I was like at the phase in life in my 30s where I'm like, okay, a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? You meet somebody and a couple of years is good, because I'm not wasting all my time. I feel like I had been in relationships giving a lot of people way too much time. You know what I'm saying? And I had a homeboy say this to me, and this is for real. So I would find myself in a relationship for a year and then I break up in another relationship for a year. He was like, you giving these girls too much of your time. He was like, in 6 months whether or not something gonna happen or it ain't the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, you know what, you're right. So with that being said, like, but when I met him and knew that he was more freshly divorced than myself, that's
Yeah,
the human part. I was like, oh, I'm gonna give him a little more time.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then we moved to LA. So then I'm like, okay, this is expensive, right? We're both going after our careers. I'm an understanding, logical person. My first career choice was a teacher. Okay, I got enough sense about me. I'm like, I'm gonna give him a little more time. And he'll talk about this. The breakup that we had was good for both of us. I am a workhorse. I'm like go 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 go. You know what I'm saying? And he does, but he's also a believer. He's like, oh, it'll come to me. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the workhorse person can look at that like you ain't doing enough.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so I think it was like 4 years in, and I was like, I understand we're in someplace more expensive, but I also know my value, and I would not have ever given anybody 4 years of my life. I did not have any children. I wanted a family, so I was just like, let's do some things. So he didn't do those things. I'm the type of person like I don't, ultimatums are not good, right? But I might say in my head, like, I'm gonna give it 2 months. I'm gonna say what it is that I need in this relationship, what I feel like I'm not getting. And then I might be like, all right, I'm gonna give it 2 months in my head. And now in those 2 months, I'm just watching, right? I'm still being myself, but I'm also observing to see if you listened to what it said, because I need somebody who cares about my heart, right? My well-being. And at that time, I didn't feel like he was paying attention. And I moved. And that year was tough. But it allowed us to sit down and take the time to really talk about what our goals were. We talked in a way that might have been when our friendship changed.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think I had talked to him about all the glorious things about friendship up until then. And then we had an opportunity to talk about some tough stuff. So it's like, well, what are our goals? What do we want this? Those types of things, right? Like, not that we hadn't had them, but more in depth. And so then he proposed to me a year later. and we've been rocking ever since, right? Like, so yeah, it gets interesting. Our friendship changed, but I think he saw me differently too. And sometimes you have to, that happens in a relationship. You grow, like with my first husband, I met him at 19. We were divorced by 24. And I think one thing I didn't know, or I could, like, he's deceased now, but just in speaking on that and in the conversations I had with him since our marriage, my first marriage, was that I don't know that we were mature enough to recognize the growth in each other to keep that relationship where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's just being honest. Yeah.
And that's I think when people get married young, which I've learned now to encourage and applaud.
Mm.
It's about having good mentors around, good people in your life that can see the maturity and point things out to each other, to one another
Yeah.
that you're not seeing because of the youth and the immaturity. And I always tell
Yeah.
people it's nothing wrong being immature in certain areas as long as you're trying to grow in those areas. I cannot wait to sit down and talk to your husband because I know we were
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
bro,
y'all have a good time. I know. He'll cut up, honey.
we got
What's
to
your
talk.
sir? What's your birthday? What's your sign?
I haven't, you know what someone just told me? I'm a Capricorn, because I'm
So
the
you're
18th,
December, January.
January the 18th.
My dad's birthday is January 19th, and my bonus dad is January 16th. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool. My daughter's January the
Yo, I was gonna say, but yeah, very full of life. But
um,
yeah, mentors are great too. I feel like his parents are still married. They've been married 40 something years, and I will say that's a testament to where he believes that this marriage can go. So I know that is something that strongly rests in him. Now, my mom married my stepdad when I was 2. They were divorced by the time I was 12, but I still got to see a good marriage, right? I saw them have disagreements, but I still also saw them being very affectionate. Him run up on my mama, grab her, touch her, kiss her. You know what I'm saying? So I knew, what a relationship could be like. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted that.
well, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'll say this. I know people want to interview me and Stacy, but I don't mind sprinkling things. Stacy and I's marriage and what people get a chance to see is so real, but we're unicorns to what we came from.
Okay.
My wife will tell you she never saw marriage in our family. I saw broken marriage in my home. I saw
Mm.
my father. You say your father or your stepdad used to run up on your mom and pick her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I saw my father run up on my mom and physically assault her. I never saw love and stuff or if I did, those are not the things that I remember.
Right. I got you. Yeah.
So marriage wasn't something on her horizon or
Mm-hmm.
um, front thoughts, and it definitely was something of mine because I knew where I came from.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew watching my grandparents, my mother's parents, who were married 58 years, uncles and stuff been married now for 30 years, I knew it was possible, but I knew what I grew up, I knew what I saw on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
knew,
Yeah.
so I always tell people, I realize young that you have to be aware of what's in you to know
Yeah.
who you
Yeah. You're
are.
right. And then we see things, but it's just to speak to too, because we don't know all of the stuff that they went through to last 45 and 50 years. You see what I'm saying? So like we in our generation, we are willing to give up on some. We a scroller. You know what I'm saying? Oh, scroll,
Yep,
scroll,
yep.
scroll. You know what I'm saying? But it's those hard times that make you. I always say. Like if you see an older couple, man, the man usually is so in love with the wife. By that.
So, and the wife is, I'm tired of this girl.
But you know what happened? Back in those days, she was the one probably putting up with all the stuff. And he loves her down now, baby. You know what I'm saying? She like, I've been loving you.
And you're right. You're right because I think and men understand at a certain age, man, how much this woman has been through to be here with me,
Yeah.
and then they start seeing her for her true worth.
Yeah, it changes a little bit.
I thank
But
God I see.
what I love about our generation is that I feel like we're trying to change that, and not to go too deep. Now, I don't know, like I listen, I feel, so let me just say this.
Go ahead.
In slavery, they took our men. Okay. Then the war came up. They let them go fight war. They let them go to Vietnam. They saw something different, and they left our homes willingly at that time, right? Okay. Then we had the crack epidemic where there was a drug war where they took mothers and fathers, but definitely still took our men, right? And jailed them more for crack cocaine than somebody that is actually selling pure cocaine. Okay. So Now we're at a juncture where we can choose each other. And I love watching so many of us choose each other in this way right now. And it just does something. Like, I just got chills saying that. Like, we are choosing each other. And we've always chosen each other, but we've had those situations where they've been taken from us. And I feel like we're at this peak, at this point where we're doing it purposefully and intentionally, and it's beautiful to watch. So thank you for you and your wife loving each other out loud, hearing you all laugh, like just to hear your laughter. You know what I'm saying? We know who that is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to feed our soul with. So I won't go too deep into that, but I really believe that, and I'm thankful for this space that we're in right now.
Thank you, and I agree with everything you just said. To not even piggyback on top of it, I would love to have like a panel discussion about that because it's so needed. It's so needed. Because of everything you just said is the reason why certain genders act a certain way, and it's okay that way.
Yeah.
Being women, I tell people this: I love one of the best attributes of my wife. It's not her looks, it's not her body, it's her strength. Coupled with that, her stubbornnness, because it's part of her strength.
Yeah.
I need to know that woman can handle me when I'm tripping.
Yeah.
I don't need to push over. So that's one of the things. But it's also her ability to see that she was like, oh, I can't push him over. No, you ain't push me over.
Yeah.
But you have to know who you are as a man to be able to stand up to that woman.
Absolutely. My husband, look, I'm a lot. Like, I am a lot, okay? Boy tell me, he was like, Courtney, you so rough, you ain't never gonna get married again, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? But I know, but my husband, I know my husband. He lets me be myself, but there's a statement he can make or a look he can give, and I know that that's enough.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm good.
Y'all see how Stacey act, and
Yeah.
you met her in the same way.
Yeah.
That girl is so crazy, but there's certain things she do. I just look at her somewhere. She be like, "I'm sorry, baby." I'm like,
right. That's what I'm saying. We love y'all for letting us be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's a friendship, though. You know what I'm saying? Because my home girl, if she gets to talking too crazy, I'm like, now, girl, now you went a little too far. I would be honest with her. So it's the same thing, But when it's your spouse, you like, they ain't supposed to be telling me what to do. Well, why not? What did you marry them for if you didn't think that they were the person that you could rock with, and be most honest with and be most vulnerable with?
Yep. This Courtney, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm gonna jump off this soap opera about.
Okay.
What do you think and this is not a trick question, but I want to when I speak to women on my platform, I want to get to the meat and potatoes of this question. What do you think your greatest attribute is to your husband? From your position as a woman, what do you think your greatest attribute is?
Oh, that's good. Two things came to mind, like one, then the other, right? So, but I don't know if strength came to mind because you just used that word. But then I put my give because I feel like it's a give. You're making a choice to get up and wake up in a happy mood. It's a choice to get up and make your bed, you know what I'm saying, so that they can come home to a space. It's a choice to say, I'm gonna have everything that my baby likes, the purple Listerine, let me have an extra one under the sink because I know he might run out soon, or like those things. So I would say it's my give and my thoughtfulness. Yeah.
That goes into what I was going to say. Stacey just asked me that question a couple months ago. She said, what do you think my greatest attribute is? And for me to have 18 years, this year, 18 years of marriage with her, almost 21 years of knowing her, my answer has changed so many times. But one thing that has stayed consistent is the way she moves in moments. And I told her, I said, it's your femininity. I said, it's your ability to walk in your femininity at all times. I said, man, so grounded. I said that's why people say it's funny. It's like she don't make up a bed, she don't wash dishes, she don't want it, but her femininity keeps me so. She keeps me so geeked up with just her femininity.
I see. I can see the excitement in you. You like, yeah, like, and that's so it doesn't have to be a cookie cutter thing. Like you said, I don't make a bed all the time either. Like we have a rule, we be like the last one in it got to make it up. Well, I might be the last one in it, but he'll still come home and it'll be just pulled up a little, right? Well, baby, he wants it with the pillows. He like to put the pillows and the thing, but he also is the one that washes the clothes in the house because he likes to throw them. He's meticulous. Okay.
To talk to Gerald. I can't wait to talk to you.
Because listen, baby, I'm like, okay. So, but yes, and that's very interesting because I wonder what he would say too. Because sometimes I do this to my, like, he'll just be like, hey, beautiful, hey, my beautiful wife. And sometimes, like, I'm a little tough girl. So, I like to be sweet, but I'm a little tough. And I'd be like, you giving me a cavity. I got to go to the dentist. Like, you know.
You do the same thing. What you want, Joaquin? I don't want nothing. I'm telling you. See that?
So,
Boy.
but that's that. Like, and it is something you know what? When I prayed, because you know how they tell you to make that list, right? I didn't make a list, Joaquin. I was like, Lord, you know me and you know what I like. You know what I'm saying? And when he sent me my husband, my daddy has bow legs. My husband has bow legs. That's something I always liked about. I knew women like that about my daddy. So I was like, ooh, that's cute. He has them. You know what I'm saying? Packaged up just how I like them. Like, I was just like, Lord, you know what I want. But what I asked him, I said, give me somebody who is as crazy about me as I am about them and who loves you.
That's good.
And that man is about me. So I be like, okay, so I get it. I get it.
Well,
Yeah.
it can go both ways because I made a list and she checked off about 7 things I didn't want on my list. So it's just.
So,
But she'll say you everything I wanted. You ain't everything I wanted, but you everything I needed.
everything I needed. I needed. It got,
My wants would have took me straight down. Yeah.
yeah, right.
But yeah, that's cool. But that's something I'm really pushing in this space because I
Yeah.
want women to understand that their strongest attribute, in my opinion, is their femininity.
Mm.
It's not their ability to talk back or be rough. And no, we don't. If we wanted that, we'll go play basketball in the park and fight with other men.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
want to come home.
want the love, the softness, the what we bring into a space. I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I heard you say earlier that prior to moving to LA, you were a teacher. Courtney,
Yeah.
how did you become?
Well, listen. I was a little girl coming out of Chicago, baby. I knew I had to make some money. Okay, I was like, so no. Okay, so let me go back. So I grew up like I loved acting and stuff like that, but I don't know that my mom in that time, like it might be easier now for parents to like Google, right? How
Yes.
do I get them into this? You can get on Instagram and look for tips. We didn't have that in my day. You know what I'm saying? So my mom like kept me in like a theater in Chicago called ETA where I would learn dance, piano, do a play or whatever. And I remember I did this play. I was like 11 years old. And I remember missing a line in the play, right? But when I got off, my family, everybody was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And I'm thinking like, I missed a line and y'all still thought I was great. And that's when I was like, I could do this. But it didn't, but like I said, humble beginnings. My bonus dad, he's a firefighter. He was a firefighter. My real dad, pretty much always drove like a cab or something like that. So, just not a lot of money. And so when I was heading off to college, I was like, what can I do? I didn't think that I could major in like theater or acting because I'm like, now after that, I need to make some money because I knew I did not want to move back to Chicago or that part of Chicago.
Okay.
So I was like, I had an eighth grade teacher who was very fond of me, who kind of like helped change some things for me. She would pick me up on Saturdays and take me to speech competitions. Her name was Miss Palm. And she's the reason I skipped seventh grade. They put me in her classroom in a seventh and eighth grade class. On the first day, she was like, I'm giving everybody eighth grade books. And when they moved this seventh grade class, if you can keep up, you can stay. If not, so that's what she was. She was this chocolate woman, tall, long, beautiful hair. I was like, why is she teaching in this school? She just seemed like a fish out of water. I felt like she should have been in a magazine or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, her name is Miss Palm, and Miss Palm just she sold into me, right? And so I was like, so I think when I was making decisions on careers, I was like, I could do for students what Miss Palm did for me, which was inspire someone to be great, feed positivity into them, be a, good, somebody in their life. So that's why I thought teaching. And then I also thought teaching because we got our summers off. And in my mind, I was always like, I'm gonna go to LA for the summer. Like, I'm gonna go to LA for the summer and like audition or do whatever, just thinking, always thinking that. And so as I started teaching, I would always help with like the programs or something artistic, spelling bee, Black History Month program or something like that, right? And then my brother had his daughter and they wanted to take her in to do like baby modeling or whatever. And I went with my sister-in-law at the time and I was like, I asked the agent after the meeting, I said, I'm a little older and I'm a little thicker than like your average model or whatever. I was like, do you think there's space for me? And he said this. He said, if they called me and needed someone who's 6'6" with dreadlocks, it would behoove me to have that person on my roster. So I say, go for it. And that's all I needed to hear. And so for, I would say maybe the last 3 to 5 years while I was teaching, I was doing a little bit of both. So like I would get off and get on the sites and find stuff like independent films, plays where rehearsals were in the evenings or filming was done on the weekends so that I could still do both and it didn't interrupt, But it also, but it got to a point where it was like I wanted to start doing television stuff, and that was going to pull me out of the classroom, which was tough for me. And the last year that I taught, I had one of my coworkers, he and his wife had come and see me in a play, and he came in my room, Mr. Smith, and he said, so when you gonna stop doing both of these things part-time? Now, it excited me, but it broke my heart because I never want to be half-time in any students. Yeah. They need you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I knew that wasn't what he was saying, but he knew that my heart wasn't like still 100% in education, I think, at that point, right? But it also said to me, no, you don't need validation, right? But it does inspire you. It does ignite the fire a little bit, And so it was just like, okay, wow, somebody really believes. He came to see me in one play and he thinks that I can go that route. Right? Like, and that was my last year teaching. Yeah.
How many years did you teach?
13. I started teaching. My very first job was at Jones Valley Middle School in Birmingham, Alabama.
Get out of here. Not in Birmingham.
Beham, baby. And then I taught at Smith Middle School in Roebuck.
Hey, I was at the golf course in Roebuck the other day. That is funny.
Yes, I got pictures of me standing in front of that school. I coached volleyball and soccer at Smith. Yes. So I started teaching 7th and 8th grades. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I taught 4th and 5th grades. Yeah. Small world.
Small world. I have aunts that are teachers, a couple uncles that are teachers. Being from Meridian, Mississippi, my wife, and I'm from Decatur, Mississippi, Jamal Roberts just won American Idol.
Yes.
Last year. And he was a teacher.
Yeah.
And somebody asked on some live or something, they were like, well, do you think he'll still teach? And I think they were being, sarcastic. But I was like, I think he would do, in my opinion, I was like, no, he'd do the kids. I know his heart is there.
Yeah.
But he would do those kids a disjustice.
Disservice. Yeah.
A disservice by staying there. Because him going on chasing his dream, what God has catapulted him to, and just like you, will inspire them kids so much more than you being in that classroom.
I say the same thing. Yeah. I say because it's no longer 6 degrees of separation for them. And that's what I say. So I'm like, every student that I loved on or fussed at, every student that I may have bought lunch for, let them borrow a pencil, you know what I'm saying? They know me personally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they can say, wow, I remember when she was Miss Wood or Miss Celestin and she was my teacher and, whatever the case. And now look at her. And if that can tell them that they can live their dreams, then God has done his work in me. You see what I'm saying? And then also, I think we can also use our platforms differently, right? Like I now try to go back and do career days, right? Or if people ask me to speak on a panel, I will. I think we can use our platform and our voices in other ways and reach more people, right? And that's what I prayed for. I used to, when I wanted this, to be on TV and play a mom, I was like, good things can happen to good people, because so many times in this world we see those who finagle things or do things the wrong way getting all the success, and it's like, man, that's tough. It's a hard pill to swallow in life when you're trying to pay your car note and your rent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, good things can happen to good people. Just keep going at it, right? Like my grandfather used to say, and people say it all the time, but put one foot in front of the other. Or I say, every little step in the right direction leads to big results, right? Or the return on investment, if you're business minded, ROI. When you invest in yourself, the return has to be high, baby, because your stock is high. You are God's child. You know what I'm saying? He already did that. So I can go on, but that's that for me. Yes.
I want you to go on. I love it. This is what I have you on here for, not to hear me talk. But even
we love hearing you and Stacey talk. But go ahead.
It's amazing when people hear us serious. They be like, "Oh my God, we love seeing you all serious." Being a motivational speaker, and there are some opportunities I've had to turn down. Not, and it ain't about the money.
Okay.
Everyone's not privy to your presence, especially when the message you're pushing is you're trying to push up here, and they are adamant about staying down here. And I'm like, I don't have time to waste. And then most people are like, that's arrogant. No, it's not arrogant. That's being strategic. It's being strategic. I'm like, look, there are certain opportunities Stacey and I've had to do commercials and stuff, make some money for our family, but it doesn't align with our beliefs.
100%, absolutely, and that's very important.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm good. And I tell people, I say, I know I've grown because I come from Decatur, Mississippi. We didn't have nothing.
Okay, I know. We wanted some money, any little opportunity to get a little change, right? But that changes, absolutely. But that's life. Those are the responsibilities on your life, you know. Discernment is what it's called.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I just told my wife, we used to pray when we were getting our marriage back together, and we started blending and winning out of faith. Out of faith. We used to literally pray. I'm like, God, if this is what you want for us, you make this a household name. And I guarantee you, almost 8 years later, COVID hit, and we became a household name. And it didn't click on me. And I met Courtney Wilson while I was at the NAACP award.
Please.
Yes, I met him, and I told him, I said, thank you. He was like, "For?" I said, man, I said, you sang a song years ago.
Yeah.
But you said at the end, I forgot the prayers that I prayed. He said, yes. I said, man, I've always remembered that. Sometimes God bless you with the prayers you forgot you prayed.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Man, but
I used to say, I used to write from the schoolhouse to a household name.
See?
That was it. And I was like, I want to be like a mom like Claire Huxtable on TV. Like when you hear Jennifer Lewis is playing somebody mama, you know what you're going to get. When you hear Felicia Rashad is going to be somebody mama, you know what you're going to get. I'm like, so the opportunity for my first big thing for the world to see is for me to be playing a mom on television is the beginning of God, you know what I'm saying? He like, look, baby, I'm giving it to you. So in 10 years or 20 years, when they like, oh, Courtney Nicole is going to be the mama on this, they're going to be like, oh, I know what we finna get.
Yeah, we know what we get. I'm going to tell you right now, Leah.
Leah.
You be giving my boy the business. You be giving the business.
He's so calm. I have to make sure his blood's still running.
Boy, sometimes I'll be like, I said, no, she did. Ooh, no, she did. And he'd be like, boy, he'd be looking around. I'm like, I'm looking around with you, bro. I was like, that don't make no sense.
You know what's funny to me is so like I was one episode, I walked out the room and he left me with a little zinger. Because you know him and Jay Anthony, they like comedians. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, he gets me when I walk out the room. He say when I leave be what he really want to say, and I'll be like, I heard you. I still heard you. But
that's good to know.
Yeah, no.
Well, let me ask you this.
But they're 20 years in, right? They're in a 20-year relationship, 2 kids. She done convinced this man to start over and have another baby, okay?
Yes.
Like,
yes, and I know
that's love.
He said he ain't mad at the planning of it, but he was like, really?
Yeah. Yes, I know.
So like Stacey and our kids are 27, 23, and 16 and 13. So it was almost like starting over. We love the show. I love Jay Anthony Brown. I loved him since he was on radio.
Yeah, me too.
Excuse me.
Me too.
Oh, love
the man. Yeah. Me
It,
too.
love them.
It's a
And all
blessing, that group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but go
so
ahead.
how did that come about? How did that come about? And how? Okay, two-part question. How is it with that cast, especially the man's? Um, and how is it working for Tyler Perry?
Okay, so how did it come about? Gotta get you an agent so you can get the best auditions. So my agent got me that audition. I actually auditioned for a different part on a different show, you know, but sometimes they're trying to see things and I have to throw the sides away after I do the audition. I got a call back a month later and I was like going in my office trash because you don't empty that as often because it's usually just paper or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, are the sides still in here? What were the notes that I wrote for myself to work on it? But anyway, so that was that. And the callback was like right before the Christmas break, right? And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, so that was on a Friday. That Monday, they sent me the sides for assisted living, and they told me to come back in on Tuesday. So I did that, and I was trying to bring something different. You know, like I wore my hair a little different, tried to add a different mom feel. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I didn't know what they were looking for. You know, I was like, they saw that. Let me show them something else. I don't know, show them a variety. So anyway, so then now it's Christmas break, and I'm over the Christmas break. I'm like, Lord, I was like, I hope he thinking about me like I'm thinking about him. I was talking about Tyler Perry. I hope he looking at my audition like, girl, I like her, because I was sure thinking about him. I said, please. Um, and what's so interesting is that, okay, so when I walked out of that callback that day, my manager called me, and I had booked a role on SWAT with Shamar
Okay.
Moore and Oba
Yep.
Baba.
Yeah. We love what. We love what.
Love SWAT. So it was a plus that, and it was working in January after the break. So I was like, so that was a plus. I was already starting the year. I was like with a gig, but I'm like, oh, I would love this because that's a series regular versus just a co-star. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, so I'm on set for SWAT. I had gone to the makeup room and had my wardrobe on. I was waiting to go to set. My agent called me and she was like, Courtney, Tyler Perry Studios wants to see you tomorrow in Atlanta. And I'm like, in my trailer, trying not to scream because they filmed me. I'm on set, right? I'm like, okay, so she was like, well, I'll send you the details, whatever, whatever. I'm like, okay, so I go film my part, trying to let that go, work on what I'm working on, and then I get off at about 2, so I'm going home. My mama ain't answering the phone. I call my auntie. We chopping it up. I'm like, girl, they want to see me in Atlanta. I get home. We still on the phone. My agent called me. She's like, girl, check your email. Like, I'm sending you stuff. I'm on the phone talking. So check my email, and they sent a car service to pick me up that night from my house to send me to the airport to fly me first class to Atlanta, right? Overnight. So I'm on the plane though. So the last time I went, it was a callback, right? Meaning it was still other people in mind. So I'm on the plane looking around first class, like who else did they send from over
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Age, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get the lowdown. Get there, we go to the suite. Like, I think he's talked about this before, but they have a building called the Dream Building. And on the second row, it's called Actors Row, right? And so if you go around, you see these huge pictures of like Jill Scott on set, Janet Jackson, like all the people he's worked with over the years, just old films, film pictures and stuff. And so you can dream there, you know? So anyway, I'm in the suite. I'm waiting on them to come and get me. They come and get me. We go to the elevator. I go in the room. I do the audition again. And they tell me in the room that I book it. Now, to go back to what you were saying about J. Anthony, David Mann, Tamla Mann. So I go in the room. I do the audition. I go wait in the hallway. They say, give me a few seconds. They come back and get me. When they bring me back in the room, they have this poster up. And he was like, he pointed to J. Anthony Brown and he was like, do you know who this is? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I was born in Chicago. So I grew up listening to him on the radio. You know what I'm saying? I was like, then Drumline. You know what I'm saying? We all know J. Anthony Brown. And then they were like, well, do you know the Mans? And I was like, now you're trying to take my black card. You know what I'm saying? Asking me, do I know who the man is? Honey, take me to the king, baby. Right. And everybody knows Brown. And he's about to celebrate 30 years of having that character. We talked about that the last time we shot. That is amazing. So anyway, so yes. And then Naeem, they asked me if I knew Naeem, and I wasn't as familiar with him, but I knew him from the group, like with Kevin and the Plastic Cup Boys. Like his face was familiar, but I didn't know his name, but I knew he was. So that was that. And then they were like, and we want to offer you the role. So that's how I got it. Now, working with these people. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out who I want to talk about first. Well, you asked me about David and Tamala first. Like, they are golden, right? We're in this. We're talking about relationships and couples. To watch them is a masterclass. Okay, like to be on the, we'll be on like in the van going, and David is very much, he handles the things like he's like on the phone. They are figuring out, like they'll go sing and go to the recording studio while they're there filming, you know, like because they filmed in Atlanta for a long time. That, like, I'm sure that's the second home for them. But you just watch how they run things, how they talk to each other. We'll be walking in the building, he still walks up, taps her butt, walking in front of her, like like the affection is still there, is what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or like if he's sweating on set, baby, she got a towel, and like how it's like water. They are like water. They flow.
I love that.
They just do.
And
I'm like, it's amazing, like how they cover for each other, how they protect each other. You know, like even with learning their lines, like I'm sure they studied together. You know what I'm saying? They know each other's lines. You know, like it's like, oh, this babe, this babe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like water. So, and then they're very giving on set. You know, so that's how they are with each other. But they're very, you know, giving on set. They share information with us. You know, they talk to us about, you know, how things were, what they could do. They're open to ideas. I don't know. It's just so many things I can say about them. I just love them. They're very sweet and funny.
That's awesome. Oh,
Tamala's funny too. We think David's funny, but Tamala's funny too. Yeah.
I think those work too, hand in hand. I think when they see one spouse being real funny, you have to, if you don't, not thinking openly, you have to look at the other spouse and be like, they have to have a characteristic that let that person be funny.
Yes, her heart. Yeah, you see it.
Oh, yeah. People always say about, you know, they be like, oh my God, Stacey's this. And then Stacey be like, no, y'all don't see what Joaquin be doing. I'm like, yeah, because I ain't got a phone in my hand. I don't be trying.
It's like that. It's like that. It's like that. It's definitely like that. But no, she's a sweetheart. And then Tyler is just Tyler Perry. He is Mr. Perry. So he directed our first season, half of it, before he gifted it to who we have now, which is one of the executives, his right-hand man over there, Mark Swinton, and his other right-hand man, Deuce. I just remember him saying, like, it was the first day. He's so tall. He's like 5'6", like, and he's a big guy. And you're just like, but you're not. I wasn't scared of him though. You know what I'm saying? It's like just larger than life type energy. But he knows it. You know, he's like, I mean, he talked to us on the first day. He's like, listen, people want to find stuff to say. You know what I'm saying? You can't focus on the haters. Let them be your motivators. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have Post-it notes stored from the first season of where he would say stuff on set, or if he would give me a compliment or something motivational, I would go write it down, put it on a Post-it note, and put it on my mirror while we were filming. He is that. He has words are a gift for him. You know, we've all heard him speak. I mean, he can stand in a pulpit and go with the rest of them, but he just does that on a regular. When we were, when COVID hit, right? You know, we were the first ones to go back because he made it safe for us. I felt like everybody else was still trying to figure out how to film, honey. He was like, I got 330 something acres up here. We're going to put some buildings on this thing. Y'all can stay here. We stayed, the cast pretty much stayed in the houses that were the barracks for the chiefs and stuff, or whatever they are, captains in the military and stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. And I remember one night we would have food trucks out there. So after the last set, whoever wrapped last, the trucks would open like an hour later. So you can go get like a snack. It might be a dessert truck, a little food truck, even a little alcohol truck. We were all grown. You know what I'm saying? So and one night he came out there. I'm standing there talking to Naeem and J. Anthony Brown, and he just came up and started talking trash. And I was like, oh my God, she is like just so funny and personable. And then after he talked to us, I'm sure he went around and did that to everybody else, but he knows how to make you feel welcome at home. Then like 30 minutes later, he's sitting down somewhere and now there's a crowd of people and he's giving us an inspirational speech being there. You know what I'm saying? Or just watching him during COVID, giving gift cards to the old people, to the older community, to the senior citizens in the area, or he gave gift cards to the Atlanta Police Department so that they could give them to the community to help the relationship building, because we were also dealing with George Floyd at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just does things like that. His heart is so big, and he's always wanting to give back, reach back and promoting that. So I mean, I don't have enough nice things. I could talk about these people all day, but yeah, he's a gift. Yeah. Definitely.
Those are definitely some people that I would love to. No, I would love to. I'm looking forward to meeting.
You're going to, yeah, exactly.
I don't want to say want to. I'm going to meet them.
You will. Y'all gonna cut up.
One thing.
I already see it. Okay, go ahead.
My wife sees a picture that I have when I was like 8 years old, and she was like, "Look, ask yourself." And she always says that. I was like, "Well, look, this is pictures from 1980." So yeah, I said all of them look ashy. But when I see Mr. Mann play Mr. Brown, and as much as people laughed at him when he first came out as Brown, walking bow-legged with them cowboy boots on,
white cowboy boots.
Yes, he was still relatable to people. He was still relatable to people in certain parts of the world that this is all they had.
Yeah, for sure.
And be okay in your own skin.
Absolutely, and he is that.
That character goes much deeper than just laughter for me and many, many, many more people.
Absolutely.
Stepping off of what he stepped off of, just being homeless at one point. Like you said, the haters are going to hate no matter what. And I found this out, in my uncles and my grandparents used to tell me this. No matter what amount of success you have, you're going to have that. You would have that equivalent of haters or people speaking against you.
And that's basically what he said to us. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, let's just make something great.
That's why when people literally come on our page sometimes and say, y'all marriage can't be this good. I relate to what they're saying. I'm like, wow. I literally used to think back in the day nobody marriage could be that good because I didn't see it. So I know where you are. I know you come. I'm not responding back to you.
Yeah.
I understand you. I understand your comment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
this is good.
Listen, people try to have conversations with me. I'm not, we're of the world, okay? So I, just like you get a news report, I get a news report. So I see things. But you're not going to have conversations with me about, you know what I'm saying, like things you don't know about. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, they don't know. You don't know what it's like. Like, I auditioned for that man, I'm sure 5 times probably before he even knew my name. You see what I'm saying? And for him, like he talks about, to have that land, those acres, people are going to come. This ain't his last lawsuit. People going to come after him for years to come.
It's the way of the world.
It is the way of the world, right? So, like you said, you just you'll get there you wish them best, that's all I can do is wish them best. It's like I did a comedy show one time, and I'm upstage, I'm talking to a guy that's, I'm just going to describe him, but like an older, gay, Jewish guy comes and starts wanting to talk to me about Tyler Perry. Why, sir, do you think I would have a conversation with you, who I don't know, at a comedy show, and you're, people just want to say bad things about people. But that goes back to what I was saying about good things can happen to good people. You know what I'm saying? You just have to keep your good, right? It's like the Bible. You got to do right even when others are doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm finna get into something with you? I'm not doing that. Like you said, you can't get into the comments with those people. I'm not getting into the comments with you in person either.
Period. I used to tell people, I used to hear my uncle say this. My Uncle Tim used to always tell people that were trying to talk about other people around him or to him. He'd be like, "Hey man, do you have his phone number? I can call him."
Right.
He was like, "Oh, don't talk to me." But no, you need to go talk to that person.
Yeah.
And I picked up on that as a young teenager, and I used to do it all the time in the military when I hear.
That's good.
So I said, "Oh, let's wait till we meet up at PT, because you can tell him all the stuff you want to tell him, because I'm not third person."
I'm be like, you want me to call him so you can tell him yourself? That's what I'm gonna try next time and see what they do,
because this is one thing I know. One thing I know for certain, 2 things for sure. If you'll talk about him to me, you'll talk to him about me. And guess what? I just had a guy in the store just this past weekend. My son was ordering something off the menu, and the guy was a foreigner, and he said something in his language to the other guy, and started laughing. I looked at my son. I said, "You got to learn your languages. You got to learn this and this and that." And the guy looks at me and says, "What you just say?" I said, "To my son." He was like, "Yeah." I said, he got to learn his language so he can know what y'all talking about." I said, what do you think I said?" And he was like, "Oh, I just didn't know what you said." I said, "Why are you worried about what I said?" I said, "If I had something to say to you, guess who I said to?"
Right. And then I didn't ask you what you just said.
And I said, "What did you just say to him?" "Well, no, I ain't, well, that ain't even the point." And I turned to my son. I said, "The reason I just did that," I said, "don't you ever let nobody test you or check you like that."
Yeah.
I said, tell them, I said, "What?" Because if you willing to say it right here in front of them, if it's about them, say it to them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like that. They be showing that little translator on YouTube. You seen the little clips that said it could download. I was like, I need to get me one of those, baby, because I be in California and I gotta learn my Spanish because talking so fast. I know a little bit, but I don't know it like that. I'm like, man, what you say?
I heard one word out of that 60, but I heard it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but yes.
I want to tell you this: you and your auntie, y'all were a breath of fresh air to meet out there because there was a lot going on. We were taking everything in. It was, I think you all were the ones that you all were the first to make us feel so welcome.
Oh, good. Okay.
Everyone else was like, "Oh my God, we know you," and it was almost like I was like they're afraid to approach us, and I'm like, I don't even know if I should step to them.
Yeah.
Your auntie, when she saw me, she was like, "I love you." I said, "I love you too," and she said, "Can I hug?" I said, "Yeah, you can hug me." And from that point on, it was just
that was it.
Like
real people just having real experiences. I was so glad I was able to take my auntie because oftentimes when you go to those things, you only get like one extra ticket, if that, right? And so like my husband wasn't able to go, and I ran through. I'm like, okay, because it's like it's also as you get these things, they become a gift to you, right? So like I'm sure you all get things from like companies and stuff like that, and when you get to share them with your friends and family, it's very exciting for them, you know what I'm saying, and for you. And so that was a gift to be able to take my auntie, somebody who has come and supported me in everything that I've done, to be able to walk the carpet with her. Oh my God, honey, like yes. So and my auntie is like she's just the salt of the earth. So I'm so glad she said something to you. And it was like that night. There's another guy who I follow about, he does a lot on like the like black politics and stuff like that. And I saw him and his wife. I ended up talking to him, but like, and then we followed each other. But you don't know sometimes. You're like, are they gonna be weird? Are they gonna be? But that night was so beautiful.
It was amazing.
When we get together, baby,
it
is a good time. And that's what I felt. My auntie was like, she was like, you know what I noticed? She was like, like how you might accidentally bump into somebody or step on somebody. And when we're, in the world or grocery store or whatever, that can go different ways. It's like, did they say excuse me, or it's a rushed bump or whatever. But it was like, she said that night, it was like, oh no, that's okay. And you look amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then off to the next thing, like the love was in the building, the compliments, everybody looked amazing, the energy was good, the show was amazing. Like it was such a beautiful event. Like I really enjoyed myself.
I sat back giddy like a kid in a candy store watching my wife just
being her femininity.
And I love the women walking up to her, and she was whispering, "Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful."
She's gorgeous. Yeah.
And they'd run up to her like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." I'm like, "Damn, that's true." With you, I tell my wife, I said, I tell her this quite often. I said, "I think you're prettier now than you were when you met." And I don't say that to blow your head up. I said, but I'm serious. The way you've grown into who you are, I said, man, you're beautiful than you were when I met you.
Mm-hmm. Well, pat yourself on the back a little bit. That means you've complimented her life in a way. Oh, emotional again, where she can be.
And that's
who she is.
That's what
which makes her even more beautiful.
Yeah. And that's what she said. She like, we have a saying that coming out of our, roughest patch when we almost didn't make it. I always tell her, she always says, I always tell her, thank you for staying. And she says, thank you for loving me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Really. Really.
And so my last question to you for this interview.
Okay. All right. Because we got to come back. Listen, we need a couple. We need all four of us. I don't know if we can handle it, but we need it.
I'm going to have to get his side first before we do the couple.
Okay, fine.
The space you're walking in now, even the space as a teacher, how was it and how is it as a black woman?
Oh my gosh. As a teacher, I feel like it was, I don't know, I think I felt safer actually. Interestingly enough, maybe because teaching is also very nurturing, maybe something that comes natural. Um, uh, so it felt safe. Um, any job you're playing like, the hierarchies of it, but if I focused on me and my students, it felt good, it felt safe, it felt like chicken soup home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I will say that. And getting to watch light bulbs go off,
Yeah.
kids get how to convert fractions to decimals is like, ah, you got it, right? Like pulling teeth in, but so just beautiful in that regard. I mean, of course you have, your challenges, because every child doesn't come to you perfect, you know what I'm saying? And they have things that they're dealing with at home. I had an incident with a student where I had to have surgery afterwards, things like that. Another story for another day, but there. And as far as acting, now being a black woman in that space, it's challenging. It also feels like a gift,
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
right? Because we have some beautiful women in our families, right? So I'm getting to tell a story of someone who I have those of my ancestors who
Yes.
we are of the same ilk, you know what I'm saying? And that can be exciting. It's a gift. It's something I take very seriously. It also can be challenging because you find yourself in spaces where you're the only one a lot of times. And so that's very different from me than teaching, right? I always taught the schools I taught at were all or pretty much predominantly black. Then I switched careers and now I'm in a field where I can walk into an acting class sometimes and I might be the only black person in the room or only black woman or maybe the only black woman who's willing to sit in my blackness.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause some of us we're raised differently. I mean we're raised differently. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll go in the room with a woman who may have gone. She may have grown up in a white neighborhood and gone to white schools all her life and can talk a certain way. I don't have that code switching voice. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I went to an HBCU. Then I moved to Atlanta. I went to Black Mecca. You know what I'm saying? And then now I'm like, honey, this is the most white people I've been around in my life. Like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So it can be challenging for me as far as communication or settling myself, right? But it's definitely a gift. And I'm so thankful. I'm like that God has given me an opportunity to have two careers that that have blessed my life tremendously and my families and my lineage.
Yes.
So yeah.
When we put our own little show out on YouTube a few years ago called That Local Love on YouTube, and we did eight one season, 8 shows.
Okay.
And someone said something to me one day. Someone said, "Oh my God, what do you think it's going to be like when your grandkids are able to watch this?" And I never thought that far. I hadn't even thought that far. I was just like, this is something my wife and I talked about. We want to do it for our kids to really show people that not just black love or just not just black marriages, but marriage can have a chance, despite what it's been through. But you both have to make a choice, an individual choice to grow up, mature, be what you need to be for the marriage. And that looks like change. I always tell people, that girl I met back in '05 on University of Southern Miss campus,
Listen,
that's not the same woman I'm still married to.
absolutely.
My wife has evolved and changed at least 30 times since then. And I think that's the beauty of it. I chose years ago just to love my wife differently every day because I understood this. And this is no different than sports or anything. If I try to live off the victory I had yesterday, I'm missing out on something else I can be accomplishing today or growing from today. So I tell people, I say, I'm making a choice to love this woman, not even because she deserves it, because this is what God has unctioned me to be.
He gave her to you. That's a gift to you. And you're gonna do right by it. Right, exactly. I play golf, so I get it. It's like I can't focus. Yeah. My son just committed to Alabama A&M's golf team, so he just got accepted to play. Yes, he got a scholarship. Yeah, we'll talk.
You have to be my I throw a tournament every year. This is my fourth annual tournament. I usually hold it at the Highlands.
When?
I played it. It's gonna be in October.
We need to know. We'll be there.
I say, and what's crazy? I say before a veteran family or a family going through cancer. I lost my sister to cancer 5 years ago.
Okay, sorry.
And it's God is amazing. I wasn't gonna do it this year, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like finding no family. I don't feel we got too much going on. A friend that I met during COVID, guy out of Florida. He's a pastor. I didn't know that then, but he started following us. Courtney, the man, and he and his wife had a horrible accident 3 years ago. She had to learn how to walk over again. Had a stroke. In the midst of everything. In the midst of that, he came down with pancreatic cancer and didn't even tell nobody. So last year, he only worked like 4 or 5 times last year.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he just.
Husband passed away because by the time you find out about it, most times with pancreatic cancer, it is too far. That's a blessing.
He found out because his wife was in the hospital and he kept complaining about something. The doctor was like, let's check you out. That's how they. So I just found out he beat cancer 3 months ago. So when he called me talking to me, and he was like, I can't play golf anymore because he said the chemo hurt some of my nerves and stuff. So I play pool and stuff. And Holy Spirit was like, you still don't want to do that tournament? I said, God, I asked you to send me somebody, and here you go. And
I'm going to say this to you, friend. We've been trying to figure out how to start ours. Jamal and I that's one thing that we want to do. We want to do an annual, work a nonprofit, get our nonprofit going, and let that be part of that because we know that, like me coming from the city of Chicago, that a lot of times it's just that golf courses aren't in our neighborhoods, well, from where I come from. So for us, it's exposing people. Like they say over 3 million people started playing golf for the first time during the pandemic because it was the only thing that was outside and that people could do. And so now there's this very big interest in it. And so we wanted to, but look at God.
I'm telling you what, I love it. I started playing 21, went on a vacation to Gatlinburg with my brother-in-law, and he's been playing for years from Memphis. And I played for the first time. I hit like 2 good shots. I said, I like this.
And it'll get you right. But like we were saying, you can triple bogey that last hole, but you walk up to that next tee box, you can't still be thinking about that, right? And that's that. It's like a book. Who Moved My Cheese? I had an old principal that made me read that book. Okay, but it's like change is the only constant.
Yep.
Only, but it is constant. Okay.
Marriage is like golf to me. My husband used to always say, he said, I asked them what helped them stay married 59 years. And she was like, have a short memory.
Short memory is great because you got to forget some stuff. You do. Jeez.
Short memory. Because this is the thing. Half the time people harp on stuff that happened, the person didn't even mean it the way you took it.
Yeah. Or accidents happen, or you do things and it's just like, okay, that was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
But yeah, Stacy won't do nothing. Go out there and have a drink and drive me around. That's all she's doing. She can't win.
Well, that's how me and Jamal that was our courtship. So we were living in Atlanta at the time, and like I told you, and so we would get on the Golf Now app and get a hot deal. So we might get a tee time. It'd be like $20, 18 holes with a cart. You can't get that everywhere, but on a random weekday or whatever, and we would go out there and just spend 4 or 5 hours. And what are you doing? You're talking. You know what I'm saying, getting to know each other. So I don't play like my son and my husband, but I do play.
What I told her last year, I want to get more HBCUs involved because I want this to be a thing where people come together just have fun, but they're coming together having fun for a purpose. So
we got to talk more then because when I went to homecoming this year, I met up. They play a golf tournament before the homecoming, like that Thursday. So I did that. I ended up meeting the guy who ran that, and he's over a lot of the doings over there at Alabama A&M, and that's what I was telling him. I was like, I definitely want to get more involved as an alumni. I'm also the vice president of my local chapter in California.
I have some friends that went to Alabama A&M, and thank you for today. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You said we're gonna talk, and you're man of your word. I appreciate that. But we had so many connections. Like after I turned around and saw my auntie and y'all having a love fest, I was like, oh, this is a good thing, right? Yeah.
And my wife was looking at you. She was like, what? She's like, Joaquin, that's Courtney. I said, I know. And
we just regular people. right?
it.
Like
That's
that's the.
it.
I think that's why, to go back to, I don't know if we had the conversation on air or not, but when we were talking about the celebrity thing or people like, doing that, and we're like, nah,
Yeah,
but that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because really at the heart we're people,
that's it.
and that's what it's about, community. So I'm thankful for this relationship. So thank you, absolutely, for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, look, everybody. Thank y'all for today, and this is this is our last episode until the next episode, and
Hey,
this is Miss Courtney Nicole. If you all want to see more of her, please tune in to Assisted Living,
yep,
and
comes
you'll
on
see
Wednesday nights.
there you go. Tell them, tell them.
Comes on Wednesday nights at 8:30 Central on BET. So check it out. We have our last few episodes of the season 6 finale. So catch it. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Courtney, and tell your husband we said hey, and hug and kiss the baby for it. And I'll definitely tell Stacy hello for everybody.
Please give her a good hug for me, and I hope y'all have a good laugh.
All right, Courtney, have a great
All
one.
right.
Thank you.
Peace out. Thank you.
Bye.